Improv has helped me with acting in two ways. One, it helps you come up with new things. One of the things that you do in improv, one of the keys of improv is maybe someone asks you to pretend you're disarming a bomb or something. And then while you're doing that, they're like, change your accent. So you come up with some kind of southern accent or something. And then they change it again. You say, oh, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger now defusing a bomb. So how has that helped me in acting is maybe when you're finding your character, you're reading a script and you're kind of stuck, you don't know what to do, try something completely different. And when you take that new road, you're definitely going to find a little nugget of gold, or, you know, maybe it won't be so exaggerated, but you're like, hey, I like the way I felt when I did that. I'm going to put that into my character. So being able to be flexible and to find new things, improv has definitely helped with that, because they put your feet to the fire. They make you do new things on the spot, and in that moment you have to create new things. The second way that's helped is a lot of Hollywood's favorite moments are improvised on screen. You know, Dustin Hoffman banging on the taxi and Midnight Cowboy was improvised. So a lot of the directors look for actors with improv backgrounds, you know, to certain degrees of success, but they want someone. It's common these days to, if you have an actor who can improvise, they leave the camera rolling a little bit, you know, to see if you come up with something in the moment, something that fits to what's going on, because you're listening and you're saying your lines, but then maybe you'll have an emotional moment where you'll react to your environment, and that'll make a scene just light up. You know, improv, I think everyone should take an improv class once, or at least read something about improv, because it'll definitely help you in every aspect of your life, not only in the corporate sector, but as far as being able to talk to people, you know. It might surprise you, but a lot of times I'm introverted, you know, but once I get on stage, I feel like this is an arena where I can really express myself. And after doing that for so long, it's a lot easier for me to go up and talk to people and listen to them and relate to them and share anecdotes. You know, everyone's good at something. If you haven't figured out what it is, then you're not listening, or you're not asking the right questions. So being in the theater and taking these different workshops, one of my favorite workshops ever was Danielle Miles gave us an intro to mime. And we did Buffon School, where it's the classic different masks of theater, and then we did a little bit of mime work. I'll never forget this one. She would put two actors on opposite sides of the stage. Goal was she would put two actors on opposite sides of the stage, and one actor had to walk towards the other actor. And at some point, without verbalizing it or expressing it physically, you'd have to tell the other actor to stop. And I'll be damned if it didn't work every single time. And I said, how is this working? And she says, we all communicate with micro gestures in our face and our body. So without moving, there's reactions that we'll have that other people can instinctually pick up on. Like if you walk into a room and everyone is trying to mug you, you're going to get a feeling. You don't actually know what's going on, but you can kind of feel something's wrong. And if you walk into a room where everyone's really happy to see you, maybe they didn't say anything, but you can feel it in the room. These are all micro gestures that we all exhibit, that we understand on an instinctual level. So understanding that, I mean, just being in the theater, I've learned so much about human behavior, about creativity, about, you know, being on time, about being responsible. You're responsible not only to yourself. If you want to look good, you better learn your lines, and you better show up on time. You're responsible to the other actors. In order for them to do their part properly, you have to do your part. And most importantly, being responsible to the show and to the audience that's coming. Actors serve the audience. We are slaves to the audience. We have to perform the best that we can so that they can enjoy their night out. And another rule of thumb that comes to mind is you can't lie to the audience. They won't know what it is, but it's like there's something off about the way that guy's acting. I don't really believe what he's saying, or the way that he's doing that just doesn't feel right. So, you can't lie to the audience. So you have to be prepared. You have to expose yourself, and you have to feel comfortable being vulnerable in that moment. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, which segues me into another life lesson. Auditions suck. It's probably the worst thing I've ever done is going to auditions. But the more auditions you go to, the more comfortable you feel about it. I mean, there's film of me bombing auditions out there somewhere. I'd love to get my hands on it. But that's a life lesson too. Being on stage and making a mistake, or going to an audition and bombing in an audition, you have to leave those things in the past, especially on stage. If you make a mistake and you forget your line, and then another actor saves you, covers you, and then you're able to get back on track, a natural tendency for a human being is to fixate on that mistake, and you'll get lost in that mistake and end up creating a cascade of mistakes. Whereas if you make that mistake, someone helps you out and you find yourself back on course, you got to let go of that. You can't perseverate on that idea, and everything works out fine. That's part of the magic of theater.